Good Monday morning, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to Gulf Coast Weather Solutions. Meteorologist Johnny Lively diving in what to expect this week. It's pretty much going to be hot and dry, so if you stick around with us, that's what we're going to be talking about right now. We can see actually a couple little small showers moving into the Cameron Parish area. We actually can still see a shower or two, but the coverage is going to be very low the next several days, not even enough to put into the forecast because this should be less than 5% coverage every single day. I don't really see the best chance of rain till really this weekend, and even then, it possibly somewhat kind of looks limited. Maybe it gets a little bit better, but right now, we are mostly hot and mostly dry. We zoom out, you can see that there are some showers and thunderstorms, but that's mainly into parts of Tennessee, getting into Alabama, into portions of the deep south. You have that weak frontal boundary over there in Florida, which is giving some showers and thunderstorms, but over here in our neck of the woods, it is awfully quiet. In fact, it is pretty dry. We can see that on the mid to upper levels. You see that brown, goldish. That's actually very dry levels into the mid to upper levels. That's because of the high pressure ridge. This is what's going to keep us pretty dry. If we do get a shower, again, coverage is going to be very low, and we're just talking a small little shower because we're so dry into the mid to upper levels. It's going to be very hard to get any type of bona fide rain chances really the next several days. If we continue to keep moving along, you can see that it is already at a warm start this morning, but that's typically what we see, pretty much ranging from the middle to upper 70s north of the I-10 corridor, and the I-10 from Houston, Beaumont to Lake Charles, already into the upper 70s and down towards the coast, like Galveston to Sabine Pass, up to Holly Beach or down to Holly Beach is already into the mid 80s. So it is a warm start, but that's what we see this time of year. Thanks to our sponsor of Silsby Ford letting us know how warm it is this morning. And we're actually going to continue to keep warming up. We get into the middle to several areas getting into the upper 90s. That means the heat index is even hotter than that. So definitely stay cool, take some breaks because we're going to be hot this week, especially today. Thanks to Modern Concrete Materials showing us what's going on. Looks good outdoor wise. Again, we stay pretty dry the next several days. Lots of construction we can get done. Just be advised that it is going to be pretty hot and pretty toasty out there. You can see that thanks to the high pressure ridge. Thanks to the high pressure ridge over here towards our northwest. This is dominating pretty much our weather, keeping us hot, keeping us dry. Do have somewhat of a battle of the ridge. You have this weaker ridge over here into the Gulf, so this has helped sling in a little bit more moisture. This is why the heat index is so high. We've got this humidity coming in. You got this ridge up here in the northwest making us hot and dry. So we might see a little bit of sea breeze activity, but again, it's the battle of the ridges. It's going to be very limited on the rain coverage. It's not until we get to the end of the week. Notice this ridge kind of sneaks off towards the west just a little bit. So we start seeing a weakness over here towards the east. So in other words, we could start seeing some showers and thunderstorms at the end of the week, mainly into the weekend, especially for southwest Louisiana, and then start sneaking into southeast Texas. So in other words, pattern could start flipping once we get into next or this upcoming weekend. We start seeing a little bit better rain chance opportunity thanks to our sponsor of Switch Electric. This brings us to our rainfall outlook. We are mostly pretty much hot and dry. Again, if you do get a shower, coverage is less than 5%. We don't start seeing the best potential for some rain until later this week, mainly into this weekend. We start getting up to some isolated chances up to 20 to possibly up to 30% coverage and slightly better coverage over there towards southwest Louisiana. And here we are pretty much now through the end of the week. Any rain that we're going to see is going to stay well towards our east from New Orleans all the way to Gainesville and Pensacola, Florida, those regions. Half an inch to some areas getting up to 3, if not up to 4 inches of rain. But over here, you can see little pockets of some maybe a little shower or two, but we're going to be pretty much mostly hot and dry the next several days, or pretty much all week long. You can see that on the Futurecast. Couple showers wanting to go towards Holly Beach, Cameron Parish region. Again, temperatures is going to be the main story, middle to upper 90s. If you get any coastal showers, it's going to be mainly right along the coast. But again, look how much sunshine, look how dry we're going to be for pretty much interior southeast Texas. Thanks for a sponsor of Tamco Hellguard showing us what's going on. And looking at the tropics, very quiet in our neck of the woods. It's exactly what we want to see. I don't see, anything developing off this weak front. We always watch these weak fronts to sneak into the Gulf or the East Coast, maybe get some type of a spin up. You see some showers and thunderstorms on it, but right now, so much dry air and wind shear, nothing to worry about. But you can see it's actually pretty active over here towards the eastern Pacific. You actually have 2 tropical systems, one north of Hawaii, but this is right here is Category 5 Genevieve. What's awesome about Genevieve is this is a very powerful hurricane that is not going to impact anybody. This will stay into the open waters. So anytime you see a tornado in open land, those are the ones I like. And you see these monster hurricanes in the open waters, those are the ones I like. So we can study them, we can watch them, we can look at them, especially on the satellite. Nobody's being harmed by this. This is a very powerful hurricane. Luckily, will not make landfall. I mean, here's a coastline of Mexico, not too far away, but luckily this will continue moving into the open waters. And we're going to see that a lot this season. Tropical Atlantic probably going to have a hard time being very active, which is good. But the Pacific, especially the Eastern Pacific, could be the more active side that we'll see. So not much going on in our world over here. It's just hot and dry pretty much into the middle to upper 90s. Heat index even hotter than that. Down towards the coast, you're going to be hot too. Upper 80s to near 90 degrees. Thanks again to our sponsor of Silsby Ford. And then overnight tonight, middle to upper 70s. And the closer you get to the coast, you're going to see low to mid 80s. So definitely going to see the air conditioners working overtime. And then the next 5 to 7 days, we are pretty hot in the first half, middle half, and even as we get to the end of the half, we are still hot, but we see a little bit of a change. We start seeing the chance for some rain sneaking in Friday, mainly into next weekend, as high pressure moves off towards the west, just enough to give us a weakness over here towards the east. And same thing for southwest Louisiana. We are pretty much hot and dry the next several days, but Thursday and Friday we can start seeing some showers, possibly a couple storms sneaking in, and coverage we'll be watching. Maybe it picks up a little bit on Friday and Saturday. We're just trying to show that we are introducing the chance for some rain at the back half, especially by the time we get into next weekend. We're not saying we get into a wet pattern. We're just saying that we do see some rain kind of sneaking back in as we get into the end of the week, mainly into the weekend. And if you haven't yet, please go download our free Gulf Coast Weather Solutions app. It will keep you updated 24/7, letting you know if there are any showers or giving you any heat advisories of what's going on. In fact, you can keep up with the tropics too. If you want to continue watching Genevieve on the satellite, you can do that on our app as well too. Let's take one last look at it. Nothing going on our side, but Genevieve is a powerful Category 5 that has rapidly intensified the last 24 to 48 hours. It's a hurricane I like because it's not going to impact anybody. So y'all have a wonderful Monday. Thanks for tuning in with us. Y'all have a great one. Stay cool. It's going to be a hot week. That's really the biggest terms that we're seeing, or the key words we're seeing this week, hot and dry. So stay cool. Have a wonderful Monday, y'all. And thanks again for tuning in with Gulf Coast Weather Solutions.
Gulf Coast Weather Solutions is sponsored by...
We don't know what the weather is going to be like around here. I do get really anxious during storms.
That's why they chose HailGuard. When performance leads, confidence follows. Backed by the first and only asphalt shingle system with a hail warranty.
That just gives us more peace of mind.
This is the only asphalt product on the market that has the manufacturer warranty targeting the hail damage, and it gives me a lot of confidence as a contractor.
Engineered for enhanced impact performance. Built to protect homes and reputations. HailGuard shingles. Built for hail.